Okay, so hello Jasper.
Hi.
Welcome to Tribut.
Thank you, thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. Many people heard about your name, about Yildirim Group, but no one has met you so far. Could you please introduce yourself and the group you represent to us?
Of course. I'm sure many people heard my father's name, Robert Yildirim, and many people may have heard my name from the news related to Dunkirk or USL Dunkirk and the Amisos group, which I represent. But maybe it's important to first take a step back and understand where I am prior. I'm the Chief Investment Officer of the Yildirim Group, which is my family business. It's a Dutch-Turkish company, which is in logistics and industrials. However, about 5 years ago, we ventured into football. We invested in a club called Samsunspor. This happened to be the childhood club of where my father grew up. And with that, we had an amazing 5 years with the club. A lot of ups, a lot of downs. But while we had the chance to manage the club, we gained a big affinity for the sport of football. Growing up, I used to play basketball. Family members played a lot of sports, so it was a fantastic moment to venture from business in a corporate business environment to sports. And after 5 years of managing Samsunspor, there was always a thought of, could we expand? Would it be possible to look into another club? And this brought us to a journey that took place almost a year ago, and which led us to here a few months ago, actually, to communication about USL Dunkirk. And after a couple months of negotiations, it brought us to being a part of the Dunkirk family and having the Dunkirk family join, let's say, Amisos Group. I would say prior to USL Dunkirk, Amisos was relatively unknown, and it was primarily Samsunspor which led the efforts. But now, with two clubs under our, you can say, and I don't want to use the word management too much, I would say under our affiliation, it's great, and we're very excited to see what's in store.
So USL Dunkirk is loved by its fans in Dunkirk, and the project is important to them. Could you please tell us what is your ambition and what are your goals for the club?
Of course, when it comes to a sports club, especially football of any sport here in Europe, it's always the most coveted, one of the most special, sentimental organizations of a city. When it comes to us in our involvement in Dunkirk or USL Dunkirk for the most part, is we want to add value and try to enhance it. We believe what was done in the past was phenomenal. Yes, there was some turbulence, some volatility, some ups and downs when it comes to the club. And what we do in the corporate side is we try to find, how should I say, gems that may have not gone through the best way to say it, the unpolished gem. There's a jewel underneath it, and it may have gotten roughed up, and we like to polish it. So for us, it's a matter of sustainability. We're not here to go and immediately take action and try to reach to new heights and new levels. It's about making something healthy and sustainable for years to come with incremental improvements. How do we see that here? You guys, even before our involvement, got promoted. This is something we had no involvement in, and it's just a testament to the players, the technical staff, the previous owners, and the community supporting the club. All we want to do is see if we can also provide our resources to help you guys remain in this league, while also investing in new activities for the club to just better the overall sportive performance, as well as maybe even enhance in the social activities that the club does within the community. These are things we actually done in Samsun, and we have a great sort of track record, case studies of how we sort of moved from just being a sports club, but being a very conscious organization within the community.
What seduced you in Dunkirk, and what pushed you to invest in this territory?
It's a great question. When it comes to multi-club ownerships, I'm not here to hide from the fact that There has been a lot of attraction to the French market. There are private equity groups that come in, and we believe our model is a little bit different, as mentioned. And I think it goes back to our type of investors we are from not the sports side, but from the business and corporate side. We tend to invest in something and remain involved in it for a long period of time. So we want to make sure the fit was right and how it can, let's say, help our strategy within the sports realm. What we see within Dunkirk is a clean slate. What I mean by a clean slate is there's an opportunity to direct the club in many different directions. We're not wanting to be the ones to be the driver to say, hey, we're going there and we're going to just go in that direction. We want to listen to the management that coexisted, the community, such as CUD, the association, to see how we all can build a unified direction, and from there be able to enhance what is already going on here. When it comes to why France, maybe, it was when you look at, and what we want to do from Amisos is focus on more of the player development side. We have, from our corporate side, operations in around 55 countries. With that said, we have a lot of dialogue. We get to meet people, see people from different countries. And one thing that unifies all of them is the love of sports. And with that, we'd love to be able to, let's say, leverage these networks to grow in the sport of football. And there's no better place than France when it comes to football in general. Why? The language French, outside of Spanish, is a very, very common language amongst various communities around the world. And with that, we just think that France, especially second league, and even third league, are great markets for players from all over the world to be able to use it as a means of jumpstarting or leapfrogging their careers so that they're able to reach new heights. And we'd love to be a part of their progression when they go on to do bigger and better things.
Yeah, because you were interested in the club when we were in third league.
Yes.
And we have also a lot of young players, so it's like really in the development that you're...
That is the case. And maybe some new, others may have not known, prior to any, let's say, thoughts of getting promoted, we came and we had discussions with the owners of USL Dunkirk. And then ultimately, time went by and we came back, and fortunately, we're here now. And I would say for us, whether it's third or second, of course, we'd love to keep a sustainable second division team, and we'll do what we can to make sure that happens. But we find that there's a lot of similarities between Dunkirk and Samsun in the sense that they're both port cities. And the great thing about port cities is we are port operators. Not here to say, hey, I'm going to link our main business with this, but we just have this affinity, this relationship to being close to the sea. On top of that, there are actually some of your largest corporates here in the city of Dunkirk, which we happen to have forms of relationships with. We are a minority owner of CMA CGM, the French shipping company. ArcelorMittal happens to be one of our largest customers in one of our other businesses. And we would hope to be able to use them as a means to also get involved and support this club because they're already huge supporters of the community.
Could you tell us more about this link with Samsun Sport?
Yeah, sure. One, going to the city, it is very similar. You can say northern France, northern Turkey, port city, close to the sea, strong love for football. Both are very historically important cities to the country. And now talking about the link between the clubs, USL Dunkirk and Samsunspor. One thing, when we first entered Samsunspor, having almost a family business of over 40 years of being in operations, one that has went through, you can say, corporatization. We understood a lot of the principles of business and how business is conducted. And one thing we brought to Samsunspor was professionalism, a form of governance, a form of just management. And with that, we were able to enhance and grow the various functions there. And as we went through the various divisions, we were able to grow the relevant teams, the teams of marketing, scouting, and just we're going to have an academy done soon. And I'm not saying that we're going to come to Dunkirk and say we're going to formalize everything. I'm here to say we would love to share that know-how. And as we move forward in, let's say, our journey of both managing Samsunspor, we want to make sure that all the resources or all that we've learned in managing that club, it is shared here in Dunkirk, but at the same time, a lot of what is here in Dunkirk, I'm sure we're unaware of or may not have ideas of, is also shared in Samsunspor. So of course, I can easily jump and say player collaboration. Truth be told, we have 2 players that were actually loaned from Samsunspor here, but we don't want to just limit things to players. Hopefully, I would love to see a player or 2 come from Dunkirk to go to Samsun and vice versa, but this goes beyond that. And it's important to note, there's under Amasos, yes, we have a first division French club, first division Turkish club, second division French club, but we're not here to push one in front of the other. We want success of both clubs, and we'll make sure that that route is shared independently of each other before we start looking at what we call synergies amongst the clubs.
We say sharing is caring.
Exactly.
To conclude, Tribut will be full this evening. Do you have a message for all of our fans?
After this, maybe people will notice my face. Always come up, say hello. I would love to share a few words with each and every one. But if I were to give a message to them all, firstly, congratulations on making it to the second division. And I believe this is going to be your home to stay. And I'm looking forward to the season we have.